President Trump says Israel and Hamas have reached phase one of an agreement that could lead to hostages being released.
Families who went to Washington, D.C. to mark 2 years of the war spoke to the president over the phone Wednesday.
They thanked him for his part in the peace deal.
President Trump, you have the best crowd in the world. What do you guys have to say to President Trump?
Thank you.
Thank you.
You did it.
Wow. You did it. Thank you. Thank you.
This is amazing.
Mr. President, we believe in you. We know you've done so much for us over the past, since you became a president, and even before that. And we trust you'll fulfill the mission until every hostage, every 48 of the hostages are home. Thank you so much. Blessed be the peacemakers.
God bless you, Mr. President. God bless America.
Thank you very much. You just take care of yourselves. The hostages will come back. They're all coming back on Monday.
All of them.
Families shared hugs and popped bottles of champagne in central Tel Aviv this morning after the president's announcement of the first phase of the peace deal that will stop the fighting. According to the Associated Press, Hamas is set to release 20 living hostages in the next few days. Israel will pull its military from Gaza to what's been called an agreed-upon line and allow entry for aid in exchange of hostages and prisoners. UNC Political Science Department Chair and expert in international relations, Dr. Nathan Bobbitt, is joining us this morning. Dr. Bobbitt, thank you so much for taking the time.
Good morning. Thank you.
So right now it seems like this could be a very promising deal. The question is, we still don't know if Hamas will disarm. That is part of the proposed deal. What are the chances of this actually sticking?
Well, so I think one reason why it may stick is just because Hamas is so badly harmed as a result of the war. So their ability to make war, their ability to keep fighting, is heavily diminished. And so in a way, they had to agree to this because they just don't have any military capability left. That doesn't mean they're disarmed or they're completely disarmed or destroyed as an organization, but it does mean their ability to resist Israel. Certainly over the last several months, we haven't seen Hamas really harming Israelis because of the IDF response against them. So they've been contained. I think it's fair to say they've been defeated. It's fair to say that their ability to harm Israelis at this particular moment is fairly limited. So in a way, they had to agree to it. And there was a large backlash against what they were doing, I think, amongst the people of Gaza that just wanted the war to end. And we can see that it seems like this has generated some celebration in Gaza. So I think they really didn't have much of a choice but to accept it. So that may allow this to continue as far as the sustainment of peace, but it remains to be seen.
Nathan, we talk about this as phase one of a ceasefire deal here. How many phases does it take? I mean, what is there a definite number of phases? Does the war officially end? Like, what kind of leverage does the U.S. have to say, let's keep going through these phases until this is finally over?
So the U.S. actually has quite a bit of leverage. Most specifically, it has leverage with respect to Israel. Since I think the government of Israel and I think the people of Israel would be deeply concerned if the United States were to turn on them, or if the United States were to abandon their support again. As a result of the war, Israel has been considerably isolated diplomatically in the world. Its one sort of big lifeline is to the United States. So I think because the United States is there and because President Trump and the United States have signaled that they want this to continue, that might be an incentive for the Israelis to continue. But having said that, that's been true before. So we really just have to wait and see if we can make it to the next phase, which is more complicated because it involves Hamas actually abandoning any governance and disarming, which is something that Israel has asked for. And then it might also require Israel to sort of phase out of Gaza. Again, that's unclear as to how much they have to phase out of Gaza. Right now, they're moving back to a line it's since that the actual specifics of where that line is are a bit unclear, but they will remain in Gaza for some time. So how much this progresses, I think, is really, we just have to wait and see. But the United States is going to be a big player here. The United States, again, Hamas actually publicly thanked President Trump for his efforts. So it does seem like the United States has quite a bit of leverage here.
Well, it seems like a really big turning point. The president, Dr. Bobbitt, also announced a Council of Peace talking about that sustained peace in the area. Do we know anything about that council and what their role will be?
So the council, again, the countries participating in the council are likely to be Egypt, Jordan. The United States is going to be on the council. I think it's going to be supposedly led in part by former Prime Minister Tony Blair, of the UK. So again, some of that is again kind of taking shape. It's not exactly clear as to what exactly the council is going to look like. What is supposed to happen, though, is that Hamas will not be governing in Gaza anymore if this continues to go this way. And Gaza is supposed to be governed by a more technocratic group of Palestinians, which means that they're more focused on the day-to-day functions of what's needed in Gaza versus any sort of political ideology. And then eventually it looks like maybe the Palestinian Authority may come back, but that's sort of longer down the road. And that's a bit of contentious because Hamas and Fatah, which leads the Palestinian Authority, they have had sort of an on and off again relationship. Sometimes they've been rivalrous, sometimes they try to cooperate. So again, there's a lot of unknowns, I would say. It is a very positive development. Anything that stops this violence, I think, is positive. But there's a lot of uncertainty down the road, I think, as to what happens next.
All right, again, Dr. Nathan Boppet weighing in on this peace deal. TBD, as we said, hopefully peace can stay in the Middle East. But of course, we'll be having you on soon as we see how this all plays out. Dr. Boppet, thank you so much for taking the time again.
Thank you.
Queen City News Plus. Just search Queen City News on your smart TV's app store.